here's Brody Brazil.
So there's kind of two separate but simultaneous things happening right now with the NHL in Utah. The subject of this video, obviously team names and logos and colors and mascots, and that's not really the important one that's happening. That has to do with public funding. The state of Utah has set aside $900 million to either build something new, or in this case, what they're going to want to move forward with, that is fixing up the Delta Center. But the Smith Entertainment Group has kind of one-upped those initial plans and that $900 million. They want to do that to the Delta Center, but they also want to take over the surrounding blocks of that building and make it a sports and entertainment and culture district. They kind of want to take this a few steps beyond what was originally discussed. So that'll be a separate video. I just want you to know that's also out there. But as for the Utah hockey team, it pretty much looks like that's what they're going to be called right out of the gate. They will be nameless to start their season, their inaugural season, coming up in the fall of 2024. And so that's interesting. It's not the sexy thing, right? It would have been nice to make a splash and have some instant identity and something that people can grab onto that's tangible. But if you're running out of time and jerseys and logos and shirts and all that stuff can't be done the right way in the certain amount of time, then it's probably the safe move to be nameless from the very beginning. And yeah, there's a lot of names I like. The Utah Venom. I mean, look at this logo right here. You kind of can't go wrong with that. There's a lot to build on here. These were some concepts that I previewed on another video, and there's a bunch of these out there. So it just goes to show you that things like the Utah Yeti, and by the way, it's Yeti, not Yetis. That S, that plural, we got to get rid of that. We got to make sure it's just Utah Yeti, but more on that, by the way, in just a second. So, I mean, these are out there, but it just goes to show you that the team is not ready to do something like, whoo, the Utah Trout. And I'll tell you what it is with these Trout jerseys. It's obviously the neon color and the sharp contrast with the black there. I do like the orange. I like the hot pink, but see this little green accent line right there? It's that little green line that's fire right in there. The Utah Trout. Look at that logo. Nothing real intimidating about the Utah Trout, but they're not actually in this final 20 under consideration, which we are about to get into. So again, it just goes to show you people have been creating these concepts. Shout out to Colby for putting these together, but the team is not considering them. So here are the headlines about the Utah team starting nameless. They say that they will wear jerseys in this upcoming season that only say Utah on them for their inaugural season of 24-25. The first round of fan voting for the ultimate name and eventually the logo and colors, all that stuff, it has started as of right now. It is already underway, and the first round is going to wrap up in a couple weeks. There will be following rounds, which will come later this summer and beyond. So this is going to be a process. This is not a 4-day, 5-day, probably even 4-week thing. This is going to be a long, drawn-out process of picking the name and then eventually the colors to go with it. The ultimate name, they will have it ready by the start of the next season after this approaching one. So that'll be the 25-26 NHL season. And by the way, there are some new names under consideration. I was only operating on the 8 or 9 that have been trademarked. We now have legitimately 20 names to choose from that fans are mulling through right now, as we'll describe here in a second. So the name will happen in 2 years, not this upcoming one, but here's the memo from the NHL in Utah and the Smith Entertainment Group. Utah's NHL team is for the community and will be named with help from the community in partnership with Qualtrics, which is Ryan Smith's company, and this is literally what they do. Gather data, forms, put things together, all that stuff. The leading feedback and experience management provider, well, yeah, so they're going to help them pick a name. And Doubleday Cartwright, a highly acclaimed creative consultancy and design studio, Smith Entertainment Group has created a multi-phase branding process for fans to vote on the name. The first round starts today, that's the 8th of May, and will be open until May 22nd. We invite fans to vote for up to 4 preferred names from this initial list of 20 options, which was compiled following the initial survey issued on social media. Each fan can only vote one time. By the way, I voted. I only put in 2. I'll tell you who I voted for in just a second. You put your name and your email, and then it goes off, and they don't ask you many more questions. We will announce the next round of fan favorites and more details on future steps in the name selection process later this summer. So like I said, this is going to be an ongoing thing for weeks and weeks. Qualtrics will employ best practice survey research methodology to ensure fairness, accuracy, and unbiased results, including randomization. Should I just start circling words here? Underlining words? Geolocation. It's just because I have the telestrator now. Identification, progressive discrete choice analysis, the prevention of ballot box stuffing, encrypted data collection, and storage. They are going to every single length here to make sure that nobody hacks the system, right? They're trying to really get the popular vote, and I do admire that. Backend analysis will also include deduplication. I don't think I've ever seen that word before, but again, I'm not in tech. Deduplication and best practice statistical methods to ensure data integrity. They're trying to get it right, and that's what the Smith Group is trying to do with Qualtrics, and so I do give them credit for that part. Utah's NHL franchise will don jerseys that display Utah during their inaugural season, 2024-25. So here's what it's going to look like on me. There you go. Once the team name has been selected, SEG will work diligently to craft the team identity, logo, mascot, colors, and other branding elements, which will debut for the 2025-26 NHL season. Let us know what you think of the names now so we have your input as we get closer to finalizing a name for Utah's NHL franchise. So drum roll, please. Here are the 20. And like I said, some ones, let me just circle the ones that I don't think I saw before. Powder, I don't think I saw Squall before. Mountaineers is a new one. The Utah Hive playing off the B, the Freeze. So I didn't see Swarm, did see Outlaws. I don't think Black Diamonds was official. The Utah Canyons, Utah Blast, Utah Caribou, Glaciers, and Frost. Man, you've got, I just want to highlight this here. You've got Freeze, Frost, where was Ice was in here somewhere? Sorry, Ice got covered. Yeah, it's cold in Utah. And mountains, Mountaineers, we've got that. Mammoth. I mean, we're really playing to the geography here. So let me go one by one. Utah Powder for me. And let me just do this. The two that I voted for, by the way, were the Utah Yeti and, the Utah Swarm. Again, that was a new one. It caught me a little off guard. I didn't know they were doing a bee-themed thing. They're the Beehive State, so I do appreciate that one. Let me go over some other ones here that I would consider. Utah Squall, like a front, like a weather front. I think that's what they're referring to. It's interesting. It's so off the board. I'm not gonna go with that one. The Hive, I don't know. The Outlaws, I'll give the Outlaws a blue check. Blue check means maybe. Actually, you know what? I'll do blue circle means maybe. I still like Utah Hockey Club. I know it's generic. It doesn't have much to it, but it would stand out. The Utah Blast, it sounds like a Little League team or a softball team. The Utah Caribou, Utah Glaciers. I guess I should just start crossing some of them out here. Utah Powder. Whoops, I didn't mean to do a check. I'll do an X. Utah Powder. I don't think so. Utah Blizzard. I think you can do better than that. The Utah Mammoth, I'll give that one a blue in a second. The Squall, probably just too complicated, too out there. What is a Squall? How do you make a logo for that? The Utah Frost, I don't think so. The Glaciers, are you slow, right? I don't think so. Like glaciers move at glacial pace. The Caribou, the Ice, definitely not. The Blast, again, that just seems like a kid's sports team. The Canyons, Fury, I think every arena football team is called the Fury. And the Utah Black Diamonds. I mean, I get it, but your logo is just a black diamond. So it kind of leaves me with some over here that I'll give some more blue dots to. The Utah Freeze, maybe. The Utah Hive, maybe. Mountaineers, maybe. And the Mammoth. So my potentials, like my top two are Yeti, and by the way, we didn't even talk about this. I'm so happy that it's just Yeti. Yetis was bad. Yetis plural is not good. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Utah Yeti, not the Utah Yetis. It's like the Utah Utes, the Utah Yeti. So I like Yeti and I like Swarm. There's no trout on here, unfortunately, but those two are my favorite. Mountaineers, Mammoth, Hive, Freeze, Outlaws, they're fine. Oh, I guess I didn't finish this off here. Caribou? I don't know. That's like a totally, I'll give a purple dot there. That's like on the fringe to no. It's not exactly a no, but it's close to no. And you know what? The Venom, I'm going to cross that one out too. We've got better than Venom here. So this is how I see it. I like the Yeti. I like the Swarm. I think the Swarm works, actually. It's new to me on this list. It wasn't part of the original 9 that I saw trademarked, but I do like that one. So that's how I see it. I'd love to know how you see it. Which would you vote for out of these 20 names? And what do you think is ultimately going to be the one that sticks? Or maybe the ones that even get down to the final few. But it does seem like as for this upcoming season, that's probably going to be their logo. That's probably going to be their crest. Utah right across the front, which is going to make it interesting for a San Jose Sharks pre- and post-game host like yours truly. It's the Sharks taking on the Utahs. I guess you just have to be careful about it because you're always used to having a team, location, and mascot. The Ottawa Senators, the Seattle Kraken, whoever, the Boston Bruins, the Florida Panthers, the Utah hockey team, which was still fine anyway. So this team is going to be weird now. It's going to have the temporary name of just this, and then it's ultimately going to have its final name, which they're going to get right. I think that's the best part about this. We want it right now. We want some identity. We want something to grasp onto. But taking your time is the prudent move. You do not want to sit here 5 years down the road and say, oops, we made a mistake on the Utah Venom or Fury or Ice or the Squall. Squall, it's just, I'm still sitting on that one. You'd have to convince me on the Squall. Anyway, you made it here to the end of the video. I really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me in this video and this channel. And by the way, if you've never seen me or any of this before, I'm actually glad you found me. So do me a quick favor. Go down there and hit that subscribe button. That'll make sure that I definitely get to see you back here next time. And that's what I hope for. See you then.